Hi there, long time no see, how are you doing? The last couple of months have been pretty hectic, but I'm still here. Surprise! If you're new, my name is Namidasai and I make games sometimes. I say sometimes because life's been eating from my schedule like another excited beaver on steroids recently. That's okay, happens I guess. It's not like I haven't devved though. I participated in a small game dev competition at the beginning of the summer called the Juice Off, and I actually won first place. I also participated in a GMTK 2021 game jam with a team, but we failed miserably to submit our entry on time. I took the month following that to chip at the unfinished game slowly whilst life was storming my way. I've now finished the damn thing and it's out on itch to play, so here you go. That's my gift to you, I guess. Let's call it my apology game for not posting devlogs more frequently. Links are in the description if you want to try them out. Let's go back to the main event. I'm making a game called Tsujigiri. I know, it's hard to say, it's Japanese. Like my nickname actually. I think it's pronounced Tsujigiri. I'm gonna go with that until someone who speaks Japanese corrects me. It means crossroads killing. You might be wondering, why did I pick such a hard name to pronounce? And why do the Japanese have a name for a specific type of murder? That's all good questions for sure, and I'll get to that in time, but first... This is the 4th entry in the series, so if you've missed the other devlogs, go and have a watch. But if you're too lazy for that, here's the gist of it. I wanted to make a one-hit kill game, I played some games, I made a list, I summarized it, I made a unity project, I made a slash attack, I made a parry, I made a sun state. In the last devlog I made a state machine for the AI, I added pathfinding, and I made the enemies circle the player. Now you're all caught up. In today's video, I'm going to show you some new enemy types, add more mechanics such as combo and counter attack, and we might even start doing some art for the thing. We'll see. There's quite a bit to cover, so let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so for the moment I've got a swordman. What I like about the basic enemy is that it's virtually equal with the player. It's got the same attack, same speed, same reach. The player has to really outplay their opponent to manage to get the advantage. And that's only the basic enemy. I want to keep that design intent for the new enemy types. It's a battle of wits and of smart positioning rather than a power display. Let's keep the behavior the same, but let's add some reach! The spearman attacks right in front of them, they thrust forward, and they can reach you from further. The animation doesn't have as much visibility, so let's add a couple more frames of anticipation so that the player gets a bit more time to react. I'll have to redo the animations once I plug the outer in, but I think it's important to get the timings right at this stage already, because it impacts game feel a lot. Alright, now I can just tweak the parameters a bit. The circling distance needs to be a bit further, take advantage of that newfound reach. It's harder to maneuver a spear around, so gonna add more delay between attacks and reduce the probability of parrying. Yeah, that looks cool. Remember when I said I wanted all units to die in one hit? Yeah, how about we scratch that and add an enemy type that doesn't die in one hit? For this one, it takes 2! To add that in, I tweaked the health script to have an injured effect. Spray a little bit of blood, destroy the armor sprite, add some broken armor particles. Just to give an idea, we're still prototyping. I'll make an armored variant for the swordman and for the spearman, and also tweak their parameters a bit, like slowing down their movement a tad because the armor is more cumbersome, and make them a bit more aggressive since they've got more protection. At the moment, there's a bug where the player can still one-shot them. I think it's a double up in the collision detection, so I'll fix that. But I like the idea that there's a hidden, difficult to pull off way of still one-shotting the armored enemies. I'll have a think on how we can implement that purposefully later. I want a ranged attack to spice things up, and I think I can pull it off with what I have so far without having too much code. I'll make the attack animation have an event trigger that shoots an arrow. Then, I can keep the new code on the arrow itself to deal damage. I think I'll add more behavior states later though, like the ability to push the player away if they come too close. Or maybe, just maybe, stop them from being able to shoot the player at point blank with the accuracy of a freaking god, cause that's kinda feels unfair. I might also improve their aiming so that they anticipate player movement or something, but that'll do for now. I add a simple wave spawning system that can switch between pure random and properly designed waves. I've had that wave spawning built since I released Droplet about a year ago, but if it ain't broke, am I right? I think it's finally time to test it by someone else. See if what I'm doing is actually fun, if there's potential. I add a kill counter to give the player motivation, and a dirty GUI element just to show the controls. I'll probably push an alpha or a demo out at some point, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss it. For now though, I'll let my personal dedicated prototype tester, Curemaster, have a go at it. Fingers crossed.
2 hours later.
It works! It actually works! He spent far too long playing with the prototype just trying to get a higher score. That's reassuring. Even in this very bare-bones state, it's enjoyable apparently. We've got a winner! I watched them play a bit. Turns out that Curemaster found some new ways of playing that I really didn't anticipate. He figured out that if you attack, parry during the recovery phase, then attack again, your movement is faster during the second attack. That's really f***ing cool. I like that idea. The idea that experienced players can find new ways of fighting that are not explained in-game. I think I want to make it more purposeful in the design though. How about we make a... I'm not talking about Assassin's Creed counter-attack here, because we don't want snapping to closest enemy, that's too easy. I still want the player to do the hard work. But that's basically the core idea of a counter-attack though, right? If you do a successful parry, you get a small window of opportunity where you can counter-attack. The counter-attack is faster than a normal attack and has a slightly different animation going over and around the player's head. A quick attack. I think this adds a way experienced players can be more efficient, and I think the window of opportunity is small enough that it's not immediately obvious. Okay, fine, I cave. Let's add a combo. I didn't really want to though, because the main advantage of a combo for me is that putting it off gives you more damage on the subsequent hits. Here you can't really do that. What's the advantage then? After testing, looks like the game is all about speed, maximizing slide opportunities. So I'm gonna add a second attack that hits faster. But you've gotta balance it out, so I'm also gonna add a longer recovery period, and you can't parry during that one. This means that if you miss your first attack, you can combo into a second one, but with a risk. I'm kinda getting tired of that blank background though, don't you? How about we set the action in a dojo? That should scream Japan, right? Something like this? I'm gonna continue with my long-time tradition of avoiding to draw by making the prototype art using only basic sprite shapes from Unity. After all, who needs drawing when you've got circles and squares? And voila, a minimalist dojo. That'll do for now. I think I've procrastinated from drawing long enough though. Yes, it's not my forte, but come on. Even though I find those tiny dancing mosquitoes charming, we've gotta give the people what they want. We've gotta give them samurais, damn it. I start by searching for references. Knowing how insecure I am about drawing, the reference is very important because the final drawing will probably end up being really close to that. There's not much, unfortunately. I've got the Path to Die, but that's pixel art. I prefer line art. I found those tokens used for tabletop roleplay games that look pretty neat, so I'm gonna use them as a reference. I'm not an artist. I don't draw well. If I could just use the token straight away, I would, but I need animations. So here's what I did. I take the token as a layer and put it at a very low opacity, something like 10-15%. Then I draw over it as a quick sketch following the outline. Once that's done, I hide the reference layer and use my sketch as the new reference. I pop up a new layer and draw the outline with the Bezier curve tool to make it neat. I split each limb onto a separate layer so that I can use transforms to animate it later on. Then I add colors and details on separate layers. For the legs, I decided to try something a bit stupid. When it's top down, the front and the back of the leg are totally different, so I can't imagine I'd have to switch between a sprite for the front and another for the back. But how about I just make them as one sprite? See? You slide it up and down and up and down. It's a magic trick.
Imagination.
Now for the animation. I've never done it before, so I thought it'd be interesting to try skeletal animation for once. Thought it'd save some time down the line. For the moment, it's still unconfirmed whether it'll be a time saver or not, but hey, at least it's fun once you've rigged it. I didn't replicate the animations we've got in place, but a little bit more detailed. For the counter attack, I have to play with sorting modes. I want the blade to go over the head then back down. Same for the parry. I think that works pretty well, but let me know in the comments. Alright, I'm done with animating the swordmen and spearmen and adjusted their colliders to match the new sprites. I can't be bothered doing the archer right now, so that's for later. Let's test it out. Yeah, that looks decent. Hold up. Why? How come they didn't die? What the? So after digging around for a bit, turns out my new animations are actually faster than my previous ones, at least in terms of the distance traveled in frame. In the current setup, it's possible for the sword to be outside of the target on one frame and then to be on the other side of the target the next frame. If Unity's collision system extrapolated between the two frames, it would be fine. But as it stands, the collision is missed. That means I've got to rework the whole hit detection system. I think that's my time. As you can see, I've slowed down development on Tsujigiri quite a bit, but I'm still chipping at it. I'll post updates here on the channel, so make sure to subscribe to not miss future updates. Whilst you're at it, since I don't post often, you can confidently click that bell button without risk of getting spam. Come on, do it! Do it! Also try to be active on Twitter, so if you want to see some sneak peeks ahead of the devlogs, or just want to say hi, pop by. Lastly, I'm quite proud of the 2 jump games I made, so make sure to try them out and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and stay hydrated!